You didn't get sick yet? You got 4 kids. You must have been sick.
Been trying to make some products out of this casting shop for a while since we've been up here. We've been up here in northwestern Washington for almost 6 months now. So what we've done so far is kind of get involved with trying to make the home repair and remodeling business up here expand a little bit. Down there are probably what we're going to cut, but they may end up being slightly smaller. And I've had some challenges with getting marketing for that to work, with the Google business page having some unknown reason for its suspension. But we've also got this casting shop producing some stuff. We started making these flower pots and a whole bunch of other sculptures and things that we've got over on the shelves here that we've made. And we've got a sauce making thing that we're trying to do now. We're trying to see if we can get some barbecue sauce and other things made. I've been spending a lot of time trying to get this casting thing to move forward. And we've got a few new products that we're making that are coming out good. Kind of want to get this cheaper end of the sales thing to justify itself with some income before I go and spend a lot of money on tooling. And we've got some work in the shop to do to get this space ready for any kind of big tools. So we're trying for now to just make this casting thing earn some cash, which I think now that we've got a wider array of products, including this flower pot, which is probably gonna sell better than the sculpture stuff, and the bookends will. So hopefully we start making some sales with that. There's some property development type work that we've spent a lot of time on around here, although it's not really in service so much of trying to make gains on real estate for me personally. It's more to just set this place up so that I can try to do more work here and make more of these things efficient, because there's a lot of organization and storage building type tasks that need to get done around here. So when we get time, we go around organizing things and trying to fix things up alongside trying to make these things and make new products and make the molds for these products, which is kind of expensive. The silicone's about $100 for a gallon and a half of the stuff, which doesn't go as far as you'd think it would. Like this is almost a 2-gallon. I think this is about a gallon and a half of silicone for this mold that we make this flower pot out of. So it's kind of an expensive startup, and I want to start getting some kind of return on that investment pretty soon here. So the idea is to make a tray for this pot that has a hole in it so that it's kind of a whole product by itself, and then start selling that. And then I'll make a website for the casting stuff, which I've been trying to learn how to make on Shopify. I think I might also try to see if I can get these things into Lowe's and Home Depot. We actually have some contacts, some regional manager contact at Lowe's that we contacted to see if they sent us a bunch of emails that could help us find the person who does the purchasing of the products and try to fill out some application to get this product in Lowe's. Just gonna leave it there for now, and we'll add more. What we're doing here is we fill these molds I made with cement, this fast drying cement that doesn't have any aggregate in it, so it captures pretty fine details. I made this flower pot model out of wood. A lot of these things were made out of clay. Some of them, like these trays, had wood and other stuff on them. But the sculptures over there are all just clay, like the lizard and the Easter Island head. Make a clay model and then make a mold form housing for it so that I can pour this silicone into a box around the object that I'm trying to make a mold of. I like the softer silicones, a little bit easier to work with. One of the things I noticed is that if you make the thing a big, thick, solid block in any dimension, not only are you wasting a lot of silicone, but it gets really hard to bend and move around. We had to trim this one up quite a bit because the whole thing was just such a solid block around the lizard sculpture parts that we would have to take out that it wasn't flexible enough to move the silicone around. So eventually we learned that not to make any of the silicone parts too thick, so I have to build something to kind of take away the thickness that's going to make the thing not flexible enough to take the thing out. So we make these molds out of whatever models I figure might sell well that I make, and then we're going to pour some cement into it. This kind of manufacturing in this country is hard to make work as a business model. Not maybe necessarily exactly what I'm doing here, the cement casting, but just this type of production, this simple item production. You gotta choose your products well because you need them to be easy enough to make that you're not spending a ton in labor in this country where labor is very expensive. So you want something that just doesn't take a lot of time for people to mess with to get it made. And then you also need something that's desirable enough to sell for a price that you can profit from, you know? So you have to find the products that people are actually willing to spend a pretty good amount of money on, because even a small amount of labor, people will generally need a pretty good amount of money to justify the sale of a product that's made in the United States. Depending on how it's made. And in these small batch, you know, very inexpensive type factory, it's just generally you're not operating at the volume to make to be competitive with even other United States manufacturers. So there's a lot of thought into actually what's going to be economically viable about doing this type of production that goes into trying to pick a business model. And still, this is such a low profit margin that this type of thing by itself for most of these products isn't going to be a business that anyone would want to do for a very long time, I would think. This business has to evolve into something that can be that can scale better. So, I mean, what I'm thinking is that a CNC machine making items that can get a higher price but still don't take much labor input is probably where this business needs to evolve into, as well as just setting up a way to sell products in general. We're starting by making them because this is a cheap way to get my foot in the door. I don't have to spend a whole lot of money making these molds, and you can buy molds to make stuff too. But the point is that I'm trying not to spend a whole lot of money before I get to the point of selling stuff online somehow. Hopefully it happens soon. We get some sales made. Alright, let's go see what that's like.